about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is
a real step in the right direction.
It is. I expected water to be coming out of there. This is the area of most concern. I'm going to cut out this loose stuff. So here's the old spool. You can see there's a crack in it right there. I've just fabbed up a new one out of PEX pipe. It's right here. It uses the crimp connections. I haven't done crimped this one or this one. I wanted to fit it up first, and I'll actually crimp it in place. So you can see, it's just, this is so simple. Get it on the ring, crimp it, and now you have a watertight connection. It's that easy. And then I'll tighten these up and we'll try it. We'll give it a go. Okay, so I've got my spool in. We've pressured it up. It's not leaking.
Yay.
But we haven't filled the water tank yet. There's a bypass valve that I'm going to turn on. That will fill it, and we'll see right away if there's any leaks there. If that's good, that would be perfect. But there's still the heating system. And I have some doubts over the electric because there was some switches left on. But we'll check it out, and we'll see. So I'm going to open the valve, and we will see what happens. In order to actually fill this, this will pressure it. But in order to fill it, I would need to open a hot water tap to purge out the air that's in it. It's not so bad so far. You would hear air or water.
If it were broken, wouldn't it be leaking? Like,
it would be leaking. You would hear probably air coming out because the water is displacing the air. And the water would have somewhere to go because the air is leaving the tank. It's probably not full of water yet until I open a tap and purge all the air that's out of it.
This is a good
that
thing.
Part of it's good, like maybe. That would be bonus.
Because we thought that was toast.
Yeah, we actually did think that was probably toast. Because there was other piping that was broken.
Right.
So that would, to me, would mean it wasn't winterized properly.
Okay.
So next step, I'll open that hot water tap. We'll fill it with water by purging the air out. And then we'll fire up the propane system and see if that works. And once it's full and water comes out of the tap, we can try heating it.
Now we can hear it. Okay, well there doesn't appear to be any leaking happening.
No. So we'll see if we can get the propane lit and see if it will heat water.
And if the propane works, then at least we have hot water just on propane. If the electric doesn't work,
we can still heat the water.
And we would just be able to buy a part to fix the electric.
Yeah, I think we just need a new element.
Okay.
So we're going to stage 2 of the hot water tank. So it does hold water, which is awesome. And I'm going to try lighting the propane system and see. I've checked, I've blown this out, so there's nothing in there, no bird's nests or anything. I'll turn it to pilot. And you got to kind of hold it while you light it.
So this might work.
It could.
On propane, anyways.
On propane, which would be fine. Even if it only worked on propane, at least it works.
Right. And it's not cracked.
So I just need that thermocouple to get hot, and then I can turn it on. Okay, so the pilot is on its own. Holy cow.
So it's actually running?
It's running. And it's not leaking water.
That is so cool.
So I think we might have a working system at least on propane. So I'll let this run for a bit, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll go turn the switches on inside and see if it works on electric, and maybe we'll get lucky and the whole thing works, which would be fantastic. So we've got the hot water tank running on electric. It is full. I noticed outside though, by this corner, by the hot water tank, it's leaking out through the floor. Fortunately, it does look like the water leak is actually just below that valve and maybe not the hot water tank itself. So I'm going to close that valve. Yeah, see, it's already slowed. And then tomorrow I'll replace that section of pipe right there and try it again. Again, it may not, I don't think it's a hot water tank that was leaking, which is a huge plus. So I've replaced that section, that spool of pipe earlier. small leak on the threaded connection of this one. So I've replaced that spool as well. So this is going into and out of the heater. And both of those lines were split. So I don't see any water leaking out of there. And nothing out of there. The water is turned onto the trailer. Now I'm going to flip the bypass valve for the hot water tank, which will begin to fill the hot water tank. We'll have to purge it out. Probably do that on the outdoor tap so we don't fill the tanks. So we'll give this a try. Make sure everything still works. The hot water tap is on, water's coming out, so therefore I know that tank is full, and I can go ahead and plug it into power and see if the electric will heat up the water as well. So I'm up on the roof. I'm gonna use some of this sealant that I bought. I'm told that this is better than using silicone. It doesn't harden completely, and it just kind of conforms to the sealing. It's in a more liquid form, I guess. I've not used it before, so this will be a first go. I've cleaned off a section of the seam. This is the area of most concern. I'm gonna cut out this loose stuff so that I can get the sealant right in there, and here, and probably here, just so that it has a better chance to penetrate in there and kind of overlap what's there. So I'm going to be careful not to cut the roof membrane. And this is one of the things that Tim in his course was pointed out as well. These are, where there's seams is an obvious area where you want to look and make sure there's no issues. On a solid membrane, it's probably not going to leak in the middle, it'll be the edges that leak. Looks like there's a screw here, probably to hold down the tin, and they're about probably every 4 inches I see them, and you can see the heads kind of poking through the sealant that's put on here. So I'll probably just kind of clean those out too and make sure we hit all of those, because the sealant kind of has a skin on the top, probably because it's dried out in the sun over years, but underneath it's just like bubble gum almost. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut this off at maybe the 1/4 inch mark. Again, I'm not used this material before, but after today I won't be able to say that. Now this is a self-leveling version of this. There's also, for vertical services, there's a horizontal. So this should just kind of spread out slowly and fill in all the gaps, is the theory. See, even though it was put on a little bit rough, it kind of spreads itself out. I'm hoping that it stays up here long enough to get thicker over that screw hole, and I'll do all the screw holes like that where there's screws showing through. I tried kind of smoothing it over with a knife, but again, it's like gum, so it's pretty hard to smooth gum. I would just put it on as evenly as you can, make sure to the best you can that there's no voids in it underneath and no bubbles, and let it be. It will kind of smooth out and settle out on its own. That's the technique I'm using. I think this will work. Let me know what you think, or if you have better techniques to put it on, I would love to hear that. You can see areas all along that seam, down at that other end, that are cracked. And so here's the finished seam on the passenger side. I did go kind of over the edge here. I'm hoping that's not gonna slouch down, because this is just a horizontal surface, self-leveling, but it seems to be holding, and I made sure to go over all the edges. Hopefully that solves the problem. So we brought the trailer to the local repair shop. I had him pull the tires. We checked the brakes, all 4 brakes, and he said they're actually in really good condition. So he just adjusted them and made sure they're working good. We pulled the caps and checked the bearings. He said those are in good shape too. So we just repacked them, and he said they should be good for a long time. So it's really important, particularly on an old trailer. Just because it's old doesn't mean it shouldn't be reliable and these things work well. And that's what's going to get you a happier time when you're not having breakdowns all the time. We are replacing the tires. Those were 28 years old, and there's just no way that you should be running on 28-year-old tires. So all in all, no major issues here. Some adjustments, new tires, and we should have a reliable unit. So I'm super happy about that. So there was no batteries that came with the trailer, so we bought 2 new batteries. This is the most battery power this thing's ever had. We have 2 Golf Cart 2 batteries, which are 208 amp hours each, so that's 416 amp hours between the 2. They are 6 volt. The important thing to remember with 6 volt is you have to have them in pairs because you have to make 12 volts out of them. So by putting them in series, we have 2 6s, which makes it 12. So if we go across the one battery, you'll see here on the meter, it's just over 6 volts. And if I go across both the batteries, it should be just over 12 volts. Now the other thing, I do have the trailer plugged in right now. So through the converter or the charger, these wires are live. So we want to make sure they don't touch anything other than the terminals they're supposed to touch. So across those, we should have probably about 14 volts, which will keep these batteries charged. So I should be able to hook the negative terminal on this battery here. And then the positive, hopefully without arcing, should go here. And then if we were to unplug it from power, we should still have everything working off of DC, like the lights and everything inside. We probably don't need this many amp hours necessarily, unless we're boondocking for a long period of time. Especially if we get there, we sent the fridge away to get fixed, which is a propane fridge, so that wouldn't use power. But one of the thoughts we had is if we can't get that fixed, we may look at getting a DC fridge. And with these batteries, a DC fridge would last a long time without being plugged in as well. So it just gives us some options. We can have a small inverter and plug some things in and maybe not require a generator for short-term boondocking. We'll see how that goes, but that's what we ended up getting. They fit just barely on our carriage here. But they do fit. And then we stagger the other one. And then they did come with tie downs. So we'll tie those down and they fit good. 2 new tanks, the 2 new batteries. The other night we filled up the freshwater tank and put a bit of bleach in it, ran it through the lines. Everything seemed to work good. We left it for 12 hours. I went out in the morning. I noticed that by the drain plug for the freshwater tank, there was water kind of dripping out. Well, maybe I didn't do the cap up tight enough, but it was actually coming from inside the trailer, which means we had a leak. So I was thinking, like, is a freshwater tank leaking? Am I going to have to pull that? I went in, ran the pump to see if I could see any pressure lines, and it turns out that on the pump there's an inlet strainer, and this one's actually broken. You can actually probably see it in a few spots. It's broken, so it probably froze. We took the pump out, tested it. There was looked like a little bit of water coming from this seal here as well, so we could have got just a new strainer, but with that issue we just went ahead and bought a new pump. This one was built in the US in '92. This one's built in Mexico, and it's within the last year. We got a new strainer. So basically, inlet pipe, outlet pipe, DC power, and a couple of screws, and we're back in business. And hopefully that's it. We'll see if there's another weak link after this one or not. but everything else seemed to be looking good. Very important though to double check stuff, especially if a trailer's been sitting for a long period of time. Water is one of the worst things, and it can be a slow leak like this one, and if I didn't see it coming out, I wouldn't have known it was there. And then you can end up with some pretty serious damage in a fairly short period of time. So you want to double check things on a regular basis, especially initially after it's been sitting for a long time. We're going to put this in and give it a go.
The deal is we need to clean this. It's been sitting for quite a while, but the cleaner we bought, we put it on, and you can see here it started to remove the color in the tin there immediately. And we're going to try and get that evened out, but overall it looks like streaks right now. So we need to figure that out. It's an awesome cleaner and it's doing a good job, but obviously it was too strong for the colored area, and that was my fault. I should have color checked, so do that, like try it, test area. Yeah, it's great though. It's cleaning the white really well. It's cleaning well.
It's trying to make everything white.
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
hopefully we can at least blend that out for now.
yeah, that'll be the plan. I mean, remember, it's an old trailer, but you still don't want it looking streaky, right? So that's what I'm doing.
So a half-hour job that's become a 3-hour job?
That's the story of our lives.
New strategy. We're going to use the same concentration that caused these streaks, hit it again, and hope that it kind of dumbs this down. It maybe makes it more all this color, so at least it's consistent, because this just doesn't look good. So
Fingers crossed.
I don't know if I can cross my fingers. Fingers crossed. We'll see how this goes.
How does it look?
I don't know. You can see the streaking on the white, so it's definitely coming off. Like, look at here. When I rub my finger along there.
Oh. Okay. So now what?
Not sure if everybody thinks this is a good idea or not, but
I'm sure we'll hear about
we might hear some comments maybe on this. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Once it got streaked, you gotta do something.
Okay.
So I'll rinse it a few more times.